Wow, it's almost like I didn't have a proper intro for this. Well, first time doing this anyway. Welcome everybody to the series where I talk about things. Talking. With your mouth. So, Shantae, the half-genie hero, goes around whipping things, dancing, and dealing with this purple chick all the time. She started life back on the Game Boy Color in 2002. She was created by Aaron Bell after a flash of inspiration when she came home from being a camp counselor. She was even named after one of the campers. Her husband, Matt Bozon, fleshed out her backstory and the lore around Sequin Land, including a few mechanics that have become staples of the series. While the first game received mostly positive reviews, it wasn't a big seller. However, it has since achieved a cult classic status, with the game running for ridiculous prices online. Oh, Jesus. Hey, online sellers, I get you want to make a profit here, but not all of us are Nintendo, you know? I don't know where I was going with this. Maybe I just wanted to show off this man's glorious hair. Anyway! With the game not selling well, Shantae fell into utter obscurity until 2010 when Risky's Revenge came out. This was followed by Pirate's Curse, Half Genie Hero, and now 7 Sirens. For me, Half Genie Hero was my jumping on point, and it's a damn good game. Great visuals, great music, great platforming, but Half Genie Hero is not the game we're talking about today. No. We're talking about the game that really sealed the deal on my love for this franchise. This game. For any newcomers, Half Genie Hero is a good starting point, but Pirate's Curse? Oh! The gameplay, the controls, the music, the quirky and lovable characters. Where do I start? At the beginning, I don't know. The game opens up on a spooky sea-locked island, a gravestone planted in the ground with a lone pirate flag waving in the roaring winds. A voice calls out, saying the magic guarding it has grown weak, and their loyal servants need to seek out a new source of evil. We then cut to Shantae waking up from a nightmare. We get a mention of what happened in the ending to Risky's Revenge. Risky had stolen Shantae's magical half and unleashed it as Nega Shantae, forcing her to destroy her own genie magic. Now, she's human, and just a hero. But no time to stew about that! Time for action! The Ammo Baron is attacking Scuttletown. This guy, Mr. Guns McGee. He's coming in all guns a-blazing. Wow, great writing. And what is the mayor of this fine town doing? Panicking. Seems reasonable, and now he's calling on us to protect the town. Wait, you did what? How the hell did you even get elected? Well, while Mayor Scuttlebutt goes to get his brown pants, Shantae heads out to confront the Ammo Baron. After beating him in hair-to-gun combat. Okay, what kind of conditioner does Shantae use? Before this, I always assumed she used magic to make her hair into a deadly weapon, but she just took down a battle-ready tank. Am I taking this too seriously? Maybe. Well, despite being victorious, Ammo Baron uses the deadliest weapon to make it all moot. Fine print. Since he legally owns the town, he's now the mayor and can do as he pleases. And as the royal guards inform our hero, she just assaulted him. Shantae has her status as town guardian revoked and put on house arrest until her hearing, where all her weaponry will be confiscated. While she wonders if the state's gonna force a haircut on her, Uncle Mimic says to go along with everything while he tries to sort everything out, telling her to stay out of trouble. Foreshadowing. So, Shantae goes home, stews about how things have sucked without her magic, and decides to take a bath. That is until she realizes she doesn't own a bathtub. I don't like what that implies. But before we dwell on that any longer, BAM! Shantae is now trapped, and who could be behind this? Why, none other than Risky Boots herself. She's here to find out what happened to her men and weapons, as according to her, they're gone. She goes as far to say that Uncle Mimic has one of her crewmen locked up in his lab. Shantae denies any wrongdoing, but turns out she's telling the truth. There he is. Then out of nowhere, the Tinkerbat is engulfed in a mysterious purple smoke and turns into what Tim Burton would make if you asked him to draw a Zubat. Or a Cacklebat, as Risky informs us. After getting decent, Shantae takes down the monstrosity, leaving behind the purple smoke. This turns out to be dark magic. Risky gives Shantae the lamp from the previous game to suck up said magic before taking off. Shantae catches up and Risky tells her what's going on. She says the Pirate Master has returned, revealing that he was once the greatest threat known to Sequin Land. So powerful that his last appearance took every last known genie to stop. Sensing a new danger, Shantae offers to help, Risky refuses, stating that she'll take care of him herself. Shantae proceeds to ask her if she's high on something. Risky says they need to destroy the dark magic at its source, which is located in 5 different dens of evil. Doing so will cut the Pirate Master off and keep him in the grave from the beginning of the game. However, she lacks the map of the Forbidden Isles where each den is located. Shantae tells her she could find it at the library before Risky politely informs her that, "I'm a criminal. They'll lock me up if I go there. Unless... my hair!" Risky says she'll reconsider her position if Shantae gets the map. So after acquiring a few items where Shantae has her literacy questioned, reminded that her best friend is an idiot, and that Squid Baron would be great at cinnamon sticks, we get the map and set sail with Risky Boots to find the dens of evil, see colorful locations, meet quirky characters, and face off against the infamous Pirate Master. As a Metroidvania, you'll be traversing levels with multiple floors and numerous rooms strewn about, each filled with enemies, key items, obstacles, and gems. Lots and lots of gems. WayForward always gets this down to where it's fun and challenging, especially in this game. Shantae's movement speed is just right, not too fast or too slow, kinda like Megaman. And like Megaman, her jump arc gives you the right amount of control and airtime to effectively maneuver around enemies and obstacles. Additionally, Shantae is positioned in the right spot on screen so you have a fair view of everything and rarely do you get taken by surprise. As for your means of combat, you whip your hair. I would make a whip my hair back and forth joke. That joke is over 10 years old at this point. This attack starts out relatively slow, but by no means is that a hindrance. Given the tight control of the movement, you'll be able to dish out damage while actively avoiding enemies and their attacks. Heck, I was able to defeat the first Den of Evil boss with the base whip speed. However, you can't just go all in hair a-blazing. There's that great writing again. You need to be aware of your surroundings and the enemy attack patterns. Rarely does getting hit feel like poor design on the game's part, and more often it's the player's fault. If you find yourself in a tricky situation, with some quick maneuvers, you can escape out of harm's way and get your hits in when you manage to earn yourself some breathing room. Now when you do take damage, Shantae will experience a bit of knockback, and much like Castlevania, if you get hit near an edge of a platform or a death pit, you're falling in. However, unlike Castlevania in certain parts, Pirate's Curse won't throw a buttload of death pits at you. In fact, I ran into this issue more when there were sand pits where you had the chance to jump out before you drowned. It all goes back to watching how your enemies move and going in when you see your chance. Fortunately, if your hair whipping game isn't strong enough, you can go into the item shop and buy some silky cream to increase your attack speed, along with shampoo to increase your damage. Must be some heavy duty products that Shantae puts in her hair. The more you increase both, the more free range you have to go gung-ho on the regular enemies you'll encounter. Now, I know what you're thinking. Shantae controls really well, her combat skills are great, but dear viewer, dare I ask, could it get better? While spelunking in the dens of evil, you'll find Risky's missing pirate gear. Each has its own abilities and expands upon Shantae's already tight controls. The pirate hat allows her to float across large gaps or float up if there's a breeze. Heck, in my playthroughs, I found deploying the pirate hat at the apex of your jump gets you an extra inch upward before you start floating down. The cannon gives Shantae a triple jump, allowing her to reach higher platforms her regular jump can't reach. Along with this, the cannonballs fired out will damage any enemies that are directly below you. The scimitar allows Shantae to pull a link and perform a down thrust on enemies and breakable platforms. Risky Boots allows Shantae to do a charge attack. If you run in one direction while equipped, Shantae will glow. If you press the attack button at that moment, she'll charge forward with the scimitar. You can break through large blocks and deal damage to any enemies you run into. Here's something really cool. The damage you dish out will increase with each successful hit. This is my favorite piece of gear out of the game. Paired with the hat and the cannon, you're able to traverse entire screens in no time flat. The movement Shantae has with these items is just insane, but you always feel in control. The pirate pistol gives Shantae a gun. But seriously, this item gives Shantae a long-ranged attack for that pesky enemy you wanted to pick off, or getting a few extra hits on a boss when you can't get close enough. So we got all this fancy pirate equipment, we can upgrade our whip speed and damage, But how do we increase that measly 2 hearts of health we got? Well, that's where these little guys come in. These are heart squids. They're scattered throughout the game, and they are the thing you need for increasing your maximum health. However, you don't get more health just by picking them up. That's where Scuttletown's local squidsmith comes in. She'll take your cute little heart squids and melt them down. Wait, what? Oh God! She obliterated them! But at least I got more health? Another constant in my experience with these games is that the locations for levels are always pleasing to the eye. Pirate's Curse has a nice collection of settings that come with their own themes, which all gel together in this very fun adventure. In fact, some of my favorite locations are... I love the gloomy aesthetic. A dark forest with large trees to climb up, zombies coming up from the ground, and little ghosts that chase you around. It has some straightaways that I love charging through with the boots. It's also the part of the game where we encounter Roddy Tops and her brothers. I love this island for a similar reason as Spiderweb. In fact, with some well-placed jumps and hat floating, you can get through without touching most of the ground in this place. Furthermore, I like the metallic and machine design of the propeller town that sits above the island. I like the warm color scheme, the rocky and wooden platforms, and the houses you can see in the background. It looks like a village lost to life and just oozing with this air of melancholy. Hey, Shantae, don't fear the Reaper. But seriously, the design of the main islands and any adjacent towns or locations are beautiful. Now, the Dens of Evil are... Wait. Why do I get the feeling I'm forgetting something?
So banging, shorty like a belly dancer with it. Smell good, pretty skin, so gangster with it. No tricks, only diamonds under my sleeve. Give me the number, but make sure you holler before you leave. Like me. I know you do. That's why whenever I come around, she's all over.
Probably should have renamed that island to Fan Service, am I right? Now, the Dens of Evil are great, each with their own decor, background, and layout. Each has specific enemies, specific mechanics for unlocking other parts and obtaining the pirate gear. They're fun to play through, which at the end of the day is the important thing. It's always a treat to find a spot where I can't proceed without a certain piece of pirate gear, finding said pirate gear, and then getting closer to the boss while also finding hidden rooms that I wasn't able to access. It feels like progress. The bosses in this game range from challenging to didn't even break a sweat. Like a lot of good boss design, you have to analyze their patterns and find where you can get your hits in. For example, the Cyclops plant boss requires you to hit these buttons to raise these platforms in order to reach its weak point, being its eye. On the flip side, when facing the dragon and the oubliette of suffering, you have to drop these stalactites in order to reach the head. Striking it once will bring the dragon down and you can wail on him like you're the Dragonborn. Look, I had to make a Skyrim reference because dragon, duh. But at least it wasn't a waking up joke or a Todd Howard selling Skyrim again joke. Though I did take an arrow to the knee at one point. But bosses like this are challenging and never frustrating to deal with. Though some, like the ammo baron there at the beginning, are walks in the park with barely any worry of losing. But that's at the very beginning of the game, so it's kind of expected. This is probably going to be the shortest part of this video. The music rocks. The soundtrack is a perfect blend of various different musical elements and styles, like the surge of orchestral drums, horns, and strings in the opening title screen. The sublime, smooth techno leads and beats that categorize a lot of the level music. The motifs of Scuttletown's theme. aggressive, rocking guitar and pulverizing percussion of the boss fight music. And as a metalhead, I just love the final boss music when you face off against the Pirate Master. Just really pumps you up to kick some scallywagging pirate ass. Yo ho ho this, you scurvy yellow-bellied dog! The soundtrack is damn awesome. Enough said. These games tend to feature a rose gallery of quirky and lovable characters. Pirate's Curse is no different. Each character serves a purpose and populates the world, but I find it's the little things that round them out. Shantae is the hero, loyal to her duty and full of conviction. Along with this, she nibbles on things when she's stressed. She's got a very childish glee and optimism to her, and willing to give Squid Baron a motivational talk even after their fight in the previous game. Sky is Shantae's friend, but she's not all buddy-buddy. In fact, when you find her in Tanline Palace, she's already had it up to here with this space princess bullshit. Additionally, she has overbearing parents and the worst luck when it comes to getting a guy. The first guy ready to marry her gets turned into stone, and then when Shantae unstones him, he changes his mind. Bolo is the fighter, but isn't helped by the fact that he's an idiot. He installed a doorknob wrong, worked for the Ammo and Techno Baron after he got a pair of glasses and became smart, then proceeded to install a targeting module wrong and blow a random hole in the Frostbite Island. I mean, in the end, it ended up helping Shantae, but this boy ain't right. As for Roddy Top, she isn't just comic relief. She willingly gets into trouble so Shantae can save her, may or may not want to eat her brains. She's carefree and a bit of a ditz, and it may or may not be a mask she uses to cope with the idea she might push Shantae away because in reality, she really treasures their friendship. Give me a moment, that's actually pretty sad. Risky is the quintessential baddie of the series, and is always chewing the scenery when she's on screen. Even though she's not the main baddie of this story, she's still fun to be around. She's cocky, she's short-tempered, she's a natural commander. This woman commands a ship of mute minions at her becking call. She's a doer. In any other game, she's driving the plot because she's up to her tomfoolery again, and I enjoy every minute of it. Heck, the best interactions in this game are between her and Shantae. Sure, it's the trope of a hero and villain teaming up to be reluctant allies, but there's something about Shantae's optimism set against Risky's pessimism about the situation that's just charming. You see how these two bounce off each other when they're not playing out their normal shtick. Again, it's all about how these characters react to each other and the worlds around them and the tiny little details about them that really flesh them out. This leads into the comedy of the series. Just plopping them into a situation and see how they'd react produces some of the best moments. Heck, with Squid Baron you get a bit of meta-comedy. Even Shantae has a quip or two about her own games. There's one scenario that stands out, and it's on Saliva Island. You run into these two ladies who you find out later are working for the Ammo Baron. They came to the island for the water and sun. But there's no water, as you can clearly see. Well, they're miffed about false advertising, so what does Shantae do? She beats some meat. Hey! How's your mind doing in the gutter? But seriously, she whips the two's meat on a stick, and you suck up some of the ham stink with the lamp. Later, you find the Gigalumux asleep at the top of the level. The sign nearby reads that it'll start salivating at the smell of ham. You release the ham stink, and what do you know? The thing is hungry for some meat. Gotta get some protein, brother. But where's it all going? Let's jump down there. This exaggerated bit is brought to you by the YouTube Reviewer's Playbook. Want to become an online reviewer? Now you have all the tips and tricks at your disposal in a single volume book. This information has been cultivated from years of research on YouTube's most notable critics. The irate gamer said, "Ronnie, get out of this review." Some Call Me Johnny said, "Why are you telling the world our secrets?" And the hardcore kid said, "This book is hardcore." Available now while supplies last. On a serious note, you could do an animated series with these characters, and I'd watch that. And according to Matt Bozon, he's interested in doing something like that. Adventure, slice of life, you've got a lot of room to work with here. After beating all the dens of evil, you find the map to the lonely island where the Pirate Master's grave resides. When Shantae and Risky arrive, the Pirate Master bursts forth, kidnaps Risky Boots, and takes her back to the Sequin Palace, leaving Shantae to save her and the rest of Sequin Land. She makes her way back into the palace, which has now been corrupted. And here we come to one of the other tropes of the series. These things, in my experience, are designed to test your platforming and make use of your current abilities. Games like Mario 64 and Mega Man X are built around their movesets. The obstacles thrown your way are avoidable if you have an understanding of what you can do in the game. An obstacle gauntlet like in Pirate's Curse is there to challenge you, not to be a difficulty spike before the end of the game. A great thing about this gauntlet in particular, you have checkpoints. You can hit a switch and deploy a platform that will allow you to fall back to the bottom floor and be able to make it back to the last point you hit. So if you make it all the way up and want to stock up on some items, you can do that and go right back up to the top for the boss fight. The final boss fight with the Pirate Master is kick-ass, not just the music, no. He's got different phases of attack, teleporting around the room as you wail on him, building up spinal column platforms and switching between the two as he hurls projectiles at you. A laser attack that, even to this day, I don't know where it's coming from, but what's cool is if you get in a safe spot, you can fire Risky's pistol to get a few extra hits in. Much like the other boss fights, pattern recognition is your friend, and with a bit of time, you'll take down the Pirate Master and... Do what? So yeah, I got the bad ending. The Pirate Master laughs at Shantae's incompetency and leaves to go take over the land. Risky Boots takes back her gear much to Shantae's protest. You see, earlier, while we were gathering her lost pirate gear, we found out those who served under the Pirate Master are susceptible to his curse. It's why the Tinkerbats have abandoned Risky and why she won't take her gear back when offered. As it turns out, it isn't hers. It's the Pirate Master's. Risky served on his crew and subsequently took over after his demise, meaning she's susceptible to the curse's control. So Shantae isn't hip to the idea of giving the stuff back now, but Risky insists, saying she'll deal with the Pirate Master. Shantae reunites with her friends and it's happily ever after? Well, besides the fact the town is probably still owned by the Ammo Baron and Risky is probably crazy right now from the curse, but a happy ending, right? In order to get the good ending, you have to find every Cacklebat and retrieve every ounce of dark magic before you face the Pirate Master. Once you have all that, you go back and face him, but after you defeat him, he still laughs at your incompetency and overuse of his gear. He decides to take it all back, growing in size and starting the next section of the battle. This part, you gotta be quick on your toes and get your hits in, cause now you're back to just your hair. This part can be difficult cause before this point, you'll be so used to having the pirate gear, you'll feel naked without it. But through perseverance, you'll prevail. The Pirate Master presents you with an ultimatum. Give up the dark magic you've been collecting, and he'll let Risky Boots go. Risky says not to trust him. Shantae agrees, and Risky runs for the hill. But wait! What's this? Turns out the lamp has been converting the magic back into good magic, and it was the very magic that was used to create Nega Shantae in Risky's revenge. With that, Shantae is a half genie once more. Let's kick this pirate's booty. $999 damage with each hit, the same patterns. This is it. He's stunned, but he's not going down. What do we do now? Wait, what's this? Risky's targeting Shantae with the Ammo Baron's cannon? Let's stack Bones McGee in the face! Shantae reunites with her friends, and the ending plays out similar to the bad one, but additional dialogue is present to assure this is the good ending. But what about Risky Boots? Well, we find her on the Lonely Island. And just before Risky takes off, she leaves Shantae with this. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. But wait! There's more. After beating the game, you get access to Pirate Mode, allowing you to use the pirate gear from the very beginning. Whee!